They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of this place.
Hey everybody, what's up? This is Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies. Now this video is gonna be about power and electricity. I touched up on it on the video about the future. I touched up on that, but this time around I'm gonna go further, In fact, give me a minute. Come on. Yeah, so like I was saying, this video is about power. What I think's gonna happen is that, and I touched up on this on a video I did called The Future. What's gonna happen is that we're gonna have a situation where electricity has to become free. What I think's gonna happen, just like the government and Obama, this was one of the good things he passed. You know what I mean? One of them was when he made the internet a utility, because the public, the taxpayers, were the ones that paid for the research and development of the internet to begin with. But what's gonna happen with the with electricity is that it's gonna have to become free. A lot of countries are in a race right now. They're in a race to actually find a source to provide unlimited energy, unlimited electricity and so on. Because the future depends on everyone being able to have electricity at their home for free. We're gonna have two forms of electricity in the household. It's gonna be government provided, and it's gonna be private electricity. Just like you have those homeless houses, where they have those homeless facilities. What's gonna happen is that the government's gonna realize that, and I'm gonna break it down on multiple ends. The government's gonna realize that it is more cost effective that everyone has electricity. Because think about it. Once the electricity out of somebody's house goes out, and I'm not talking about a power outage, they just didn't pay the electric bill. What happens is it leaves it open for crime. It increases the potential of fire hazards. So think about it. You didn't pay your electric bill, the whole house burns down. You know what I'm saying? Or that whole neighborhood, a big power outage happens. You know what I'm saying? Crime increases. We got fires going everywhere. Homes being burned. And then you can't keep track of the people. They can't charge their phones. So how you gonna keep track of them with their cell phones and so on? You know what I'm saying? They're gonna realize that the electricity should be free to the public. It should be free, because with free electricity, it will be far less issues. They'll be able to keep track of the public. But another thing, but in fact, let me stay on it. With electricity, it'll be easier for the public to call for assistance, the police and all that and everything. And basically, when the whole neighborhood has electricity, there's far less of a chance of crime occurring. That's why there's a race for them to find, I think it's nuclear fusion or some way. China and America have invested money in this way to create an energy source that doesn't have the nuclear waste as, I forget what it's called, but it might be reverse nuclear fusion or some kind of crap. I forget how it's called. But basically, it would give us access to enough energy like the sun. And the reason they want electricity to be free, beyond the protection and safety of a whole neighborhood having electricity, is that you'll be able to, on a consumer level, they'll be able to make more money. In all honesty, you shouldn't have to worry about your electric bill. It's just like us now cutting our cable to cutting our cable to have just cutting our cable to just relying on internet on our phones. It's more what's the word? It's more it's more simplistic. What's gonna happen is a lot of the government's gonna realize if you're not spending money on your electric bill, you have money to take vacations. You have money to travel, go to clubs, bars, and businesses, especially after C-19. You know what I'm saying? They need you to spend more money. So they're gonna need, and I'd say in probably the next 5 to 10 years, let's think about it. They've been providing solar panels. I think Tesla and a lot of companies been providing solar panels for free. So they're trying to give people free electricity so they can keep you on the grid. It costs them less money that they could track you than when they can't track you. You don't have electricity, you know what I'm saying, and you're not spending as much money in the economy. So what's gonna happen, they're gonna eventually make electricity absolutely free. It's gonna probably be on a governing electricity cap where you'll be able to go through the private and the government electricity. Where the government gives you electricity, you might have a cap of how much electricity you can use in a day and so on. They're going to install these digital trackers in your house and such. Then the private electricity source, you'll be able to, have as much electricity you're willing to pay for. So, they're going to need you to be able to spend more money. And think about it. You having to worry about your electric bill is you not spending money in the economy. You know what I mean? It's you not putting more money into the economy. But if they had it so that you didn't have to worry about your electric bill, you'd be in the clubs more. You'd be buying more jewelry. You'd be taking more vacations. So it's better and more beneficial for the economy that you don't worry about electricity. You know what I mean? It's something that should be universally available right now. That's why they were pushing the whole solar panels thing. And basically they're trying to allow houses to have alternative forms of electricity. Now I know what you're saying, ENG, all these electrical companies and so on. What are they gonna do? Well, they're gonna get contracted for a government contract and they're gonna get a private contract. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna lose money anyway. C-19 made a lot of offices work remotely. We're talking hundreds of thousands and millions of Americans being told to just work at home. We don't need an office. You know what I mean? So what's gonna happen is the government's gonna give them a chance to make money anyway. Well, here's the electricity for governing government electricity, where it's funded by the taxpayers and such. And here's the limit and caps you could put, so they get paid whether you pay them or not. One way or another, you're gonna pay because it makes far more sense that electricity is free than it would for it to cost money. Because you paying for electric bill is you not using that money to go to places or actually spending money to put more things into the house. So they're gonna eventually make electricity free. It's only a matter of time. I'd say, like I said, 5 to 15 years. It's gonna have to become free. Another reason it's gonna have to become free and more available is for technology sake. Like for example, you got spaceships, space shuttles, and all this new tech they're designing, but they don't have enough electricity and it costs too much to get the electricity and energy they need to run these things. That's why, a lot of the countries are in a chase for an alternative source of power. That's why the nuclear fusion thing is big because they need another source of energy because the old ways, the circuit boards and all that, it's too outdated. You know, and it limits what you could do with the technology. You know what I'm saying? So what's gonna happen is they're gonna make it so that excuse me, they're gonna make it so that electricity is free because innovation's gonna depend on it. You need your technology firms to have access to more power. So what's gonna happen is the government's gonna be on a race to provide unlimited energy because unlimited energy is far more beneficial to the country and the world as a whole. Because the more people have electricity, the more people you can keep track of, and the more people you can sell to and turn to consumers. So pretty soon, they're gonna eventually have to provide unlimited electricity, man. We're gonna have two forms of electricity, just like they offered. I think France has two forms of healthcare: the government provided healthcare and the private. We're gonna have the same thing with electricity, and they've been doing it with the homeless shelters anyway, where they have electricity in these shelters. Those are government, run electricity. You know what I'm saying? So what's gonna happen is for the public, we're gonna have either government provided universal electricity, which is provided by the government, or private, where you need more energy or you need to do more things with it. So that's where we're headed. We're gonna really go towards the future, and in the very future is on it. Space travel and all that. Because think about it. A lot of people are thinking about flying cars. I don't think that ain't gonna happen because it's too risky. Somebody flying a car drunk and crashes and does so much damage. But the future's gonna be hover cars, that probably run on electricity. So you have Tesla cars and all that. How are you gonna charge it? You're gonna need a more increased level of electricity and energy to charge your cars. Charge the vehicles of the future. Charge the new, the buses, because transit, all of them are going to eventually run on solar. Run on solar and energy being recharged. So they're going to need a new source of energy. And once they find that new source of energy, I think it's nuclear fusion or nuclear reverse fusion. I don't remember the name. You could Google it, but it's a way to create energy through having a nuclear source move kinetically. So what's gonna happen is, man, we're gonna have an alternative source of energy and it's gonna be free. We're gonna have universal energy. You know what I'm saying? And because it's needed, it's gonna be more beneficial. Because notice how the government's pushing this whole fossil fuel, and they're pushing all this stuff that they would have never done in the 90s because they're realizing that it's a limit. We're limited by running on fossil fuels, having your car run on gasoline. We're limited versus having your car being recharged. You have to go to another country, get a barrel of oil, gasoline. It's too much of a hassle. They're gonna need vehicles to be plug and play, where you, just like your phone, you plug in the car and recharge it. And a new technology was created. I forget what they call it, but the guy that came up with the battery, he reinvented a new battery that you plug your phone to the wall and they'll charge it to full in less than 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because it has this new, new cell in it and all that. So what's gonna happen is, how are you gonna have, electric cars? How are you gonna have all these vehicles that are charged? How are you gonna eliminate the carbon footprint and actually lower global warming, lower global warming? And I say that multiple times because the thing is this: the Earth actually gets warmer or colder every few hundred years or so. If it gets closer or further away from the sun, you know. So In the future, man, we're gonna have to have free energy. It's gonna have to come. So, that's what's gonna happen. In the future, they're gonna find an alternative way. And they've been pushing the agenda. What is it? A kid just got a world record for at the age of 13, he created a nuclear fusion thing in his bedroom or something. You know what I mean? They're pushing the initiative already. They're getting people prepared. You know what I mean? They're getting people prepared for this and what's coming. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna have an alternative source of energy because the very future depends on it. You know, it would make more sense to have a spaceship that didn't run on jet fuel, a spaceship that could be recharged with electricity and solar panels, and then it just projected itself. But how are you gonna do that when you don't have a source of energy to recharge it that has an infinite or near infinite source? So the future is very dependent on the fact that we find an alternative energy source, a way to give people energy for free. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going to come. That's what's coming up is an alternative source of energy that we can look at and honestly say will give everyone electricity. Universal electricity and private electricity. One electricity, an energy source given by the government, and one you could pay privately. You know what I mean? So, just think about that. Because we're gonna need it, man. Well, this has been Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies. Peace.
They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of